Jamaica, I'm at it again. Read my last video. Persons have been sending requests, demands from various places, St. Elizabeth, St. Anne, St. Catherine, moreover, St. Mary. So I've decided to put a little on that little, and I'm ready. Look out for me.
Too bad, you know. I want my bag when big as still, but since that's why you come, I have to give thanks.
I give thanks to this. No man, it's a privilege.
Well, praise the Lord for it. For we never have anything to give you thanks and praise and give God thanks for you. To provide it, give you it that you can stretch you on to me. Praise God for it.
May God bless you. Bless the hands. Thank you very much. Find a time like this, it is well needed. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
All right. Woo.
Yep. So we just showed a feature with young men who are helping out in the rural areas, trying to get foods and supplies to those who are shut in. So great job by them. And we continue the conversation. We speak about businesses and small businesses, supermarkets, how they are managing or coping in this crisis. So we have joining us via Zoom, President of the Small Business Association, Hugh Johnson, as well as Chief Executive Officer for the Shopper Plus Food Stores.
Super Plus.
Super Plus Food Stores. We said Shopper Plus, right?
Yes.
Wayne Chen. Morning, sirs.
Morning, sirs.
Good morning again.
How are you doing?
Well, under COVID, hiding from it, staying in, following the instructions,
Yes.
and coping at the same time with business trickling.
Yes. Wayne, I'm going to start with you because the supermarkets are, they're the hot topics. Everyone's talking about them. The idea is that business is booming for supermarkets. Is that true? Has anything changed?
It's a mixed blessing.
Yeah.
People may get that impression because there are periods when you would see a rush, and then there are periods when nothing is happening. And we also have to consider that supermarkets have been opening with truncated hours, so a lot more has to be done within a shorter space of time. I can tell you, frankly, my experience has been that when you smooth out all the peaks and troughs over the last few weeks, business is about the same in terms of actual products sold as the previous month or the month before that.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in again a little bit before Dwayne. Has your supply chain been affected? Because I think that's one of the things that's causing people to get a little bit anxious. They feel like food is gonna run out and we're not going to get the things that we want to get. But from your experience, has the pandemic affected your supply chain?
Frankly, the supplies, with one or two exceptions, right now, I won't mention the commodity because I don't want to cause a rush.
Yes.
There is a commodity that is a little low on the shelf, but I've been assured by the importers that by Friday, Saturday, we should have adequate supplies. So it has been working pretty well in terms. To be frank, the only thing that has been in short supply were products like Lysol, hand sanitizer, and rubbing alcohol right after the first announcement when there was a mad rush to grab all these items. But the local manufacturers have really stepped up to the plate when it came to sanitizers. Many manufacturers who were never focused on that product have suddenly cranked up production. And, it has not been said enough. I find that the local supply chain, which is long established, the big distributors, the small distributors, the manufacturers, the wholesalers, the supermarkets, and let us not forget the 10,000 plus corner shops and village groceries that have really stepped up to the plate and ensured that supplies have been adequate.
Yeah, Mr. Johnson, let me talk to you for a second. A couple of weeks ago, you spoke about the industry being hit hard, the tourism industry and remittances. What areas are you seeing job cuts happening since COVID-19?
It's right across the sector. more so as we would have seen in the retail trade as it relates to their time of opening, but because of the time to operate, crowd conversion them, there is also that smooth out of their overall operation. Um, so we want to commend Jamaicans on a whole for coping with this crisis so far, and the government for their program, even though we believe that there are gaps that could be better filled with closer collaboration with local stakeholders to enhance that smooth running of these operations in this trying time.
Yeah, as you extend your commendation to the small business owners, what have they been saying? How have they been responding in this time?
Surprisingly enough, they have been at it to adhere to the government rules, because sometimes it's laughable to go to a corner shop and see them having marshals there keeping people at bay. There are signs up, no more than 2 customers can walk into that shop at any one time. So you'll have a dozen persons standing outside. They refuse to allow more than 2 persons to come in at any one time, and also the demarcation of distancing outside as it relates to preventing congregation on the outside.
Yeah.
So it's commendable to see the drive and the push, and we want to keep it that way, and for governmental assistance to be flowing in similar manner and also with closer collaboration.
Wayne, we've seen as soon as shopping days are announced in St. Catherine, the scenes, they're chaotic. People are lined up for miles. What are some of the recommendations that you have? What can you tell our viewers to make shopping easier for them or simpler for them? What should be the approach for shoppers coming to the supermarket?
I think shoppers, where they can, should stock up on non-perishable goods, just as you would in the coming of a hurricane. I already recognize that there may be 750,000 Jamaicans who do not have the current resources to stock up. But I want to take up on Mr. Johnson's point, because I touched on it earlier, and I'm happy to hear that he has continued with the point. We need to have a more bottom-up approach in the planning of some of these initiatives, because there's much knowledge on the ground that sometimes does not inform some of the directives that have come down. I know the government has been learning fast in terms of correcting things that might have gone a bit awry, not understanding crowd psychology and behavior. But I want to make a special note of the 10,000 plus small shops in Jamaica. They have a critical role to play, because I have found I'm a countryman. I'm out here and I move around a bit, even though I ought not to, but I have other hats to wear that I have to move around.
Yes.
The villages and the small communities are policing themselves pretty efficiently. What the anecdote that Mr. Johnson shared with us a while ago has been my experience also. The trick is that we should find a way to get more goods into the corner shop so people wouldn't have to leave their communities. So you wouldn't have to see a rush in Portmore or Spanish Town or Linston if the shop in Above Rocks had goods, or the shops in Guys Hill had more stock. It would cut down the need to take the public transportation. It would cut down the need for people to leave their communities. And I think we have to, and I say we, the whole food supply network has to be brought into play.
Yeah.
I know there will be a special role for the care packages for the shut-ins and the indigent. But the ordinary Jamaican who can't afford to buy 2 weeks worth of supplies and lock himself up at home or herself up at home can easily access, within walking distance, a corner shop or a village shop. And I trust, let me tell you, Jamaicans have behaved pretty well. Yesterday, the first day of and you say I have to walk with my mask. Driving through Mandeville, I would tell you that easily 95% of the people were wearing masks. Everybody was, with 1 or 2 exceptions, perhaps crossing on a sidewalk.
I would say the same. I would say the same in Kingston and St. Catherine as well. That they've been
sometimes we're not as bad as we portray ourselves to be,
Yeah.
But we have to be taken into the decision-making process.
Yeah. What I'm hearing you say, Wayne, is one of the things is that the restocking days shouldn't just happen for the supermarkets, but the corner shop should also be a part of that restocking process to be able to take up. And the opening not just supermarkets, the corner shops must be allowed to open as well on the shopping days.
And perhaps even longer. Because, as I say, community policing is something that I think that we need to think about. We will never have enough police and soldiers to enforce the stay-at-home orders and the curfews and so on. But if at the community level, and this is where the parish councillors, the caretakers, the parish disaster management committees and so on, the SDC, the churches, spread out the work, spread out the policing, and allow people to understand that there is no need to rush into town to buy food if the food is right there within a walking distance. You tell the shopkeepers, look, just as Mr. Johnson said, 2 at a time. Use your discretion and come. You all know each other. Let us police ourselves, but put in place practical measures that we can do that effectively.
Yeah, before we go, Mr. Johnson, you spoke also about protecting ourselves against external shocks. Look to the future now. How do we do that after COVID-19?
I think we need to begin immediately because it's opportune time. We have been begging governments over time to allow us and provide the wherewithal, enable us to build local capacity. We have seen all of the reports from UN, from FAO, that says the Caribbean on the whole, we have been importing a larger percentage of our consumables. We need to look how best we can ramp up production. And we are looking a low-hanging fruit, which is the agricultural sector. How fast can we ramp up production? Right now, there's a drought across the island. Most of the parishes are experiencing serious drought. And we have some irrigated lands. How best can we utilize those irrigated lands instead of destroying them to increase production? And those are some of the areas that we're imploring government to focus on with a laser approach to get us up there, because this one seemed to be not a 3-month run, but it could be a 12-month run. So we need to be prepared, because as we have seen, countries have put restriction on health equipment. What will happen when it should continue further and that same restriction is put on food? It will be a grave situation.
Yeah.
So let us get going immediately. We have the resources, we have the people who are willing, we need the political will to do it, so let us do it now.
Let me tell you something. Jamaicans are visionary, and now we're talking about eat what we grow what we eat. And if we follow that, we'll be fine. I want to thank you both for speaking with us this morning. Hugh Johnson, President of the Small Business Association and Chief Executive Officer for the Super Plus Food Stores, Wayne Chen. Thank you, gentlemen. Please be safe.
We will, and same to you.
All right, still to come, we zoom in on how the coronavirus is changing the game of sports. News in 5 is next. But first, here's our Throwback Thursday video pick. What is that pick?
Mariah Carey, you want me to sing it? It's Mariah Carey, I'll Be There. I can
Lord,
sing it.
they don't have a mask for ears.